Good morning from Brisbane. Hope you're all well. Today, I am going to talk about one of my favorite topics, the gut microbiome. Last week, I looked at how hormones impact your weight, and this week, I tell you how to feed your gut to lose weight. Both very interesting topics. To everyone who doesn't know me yet, I'm a transformational nutrition coach showing women how to successfully lose weight for the last time. I studied gut health and have a fair share of my own experiences with this topic. Unfortunately, not all very positive. Actually, most of them very negative, because I suffered from GI issues and know really firsthand how much they impact your life. So I suffered from them for years. So getting them back into balance has been nothing more than life-changing for me and helped me keep my figure all through my 40s and 50s. So it's going to be interesting, and I'm happy to share my findings. So before I start, just some information. I cannot see who's joining unless you send me a little comment and say you're there. Whoever wants to comment during the live or during the replay, please do. I will get back to all of the comments either while I'm talking live or afterwards. And I always like to have some feedback so that I know it's helpful or I know where you still have questions. So let me just have a quick look if everything looks okay. It does look okay. Right. So what do I mean with digestion? So digestion starts when you put food in your mouth and it ends when it leaves your body, the other end. It is the process of breaking down food, absorbing its nutrients while protecting you from harmful microbes and toxins, so all the bad stuff. And then finally, it's the elimination of waste. So all of that constitutes digestion. So while you want to max out the nutrients your body absorbs, you want to minimize the energy your body absorbs. And I get a comment. Good morning, Evelyn. Nice for you to join. Video looks great. Sounds excellent. Yay. Perfect. Right. So what I said is you want to maximize the nutrients that your body gets from your food, but you don't want to maximize the energy it absorbs. So here's an interesting fact. People with a healthier bacterial balance absorb fewer calories from their food. So this means if the gut bacteria is shifted to include more of the healthy range of microbes, the ones that you want to have, you might absorb less energy from food and you eliminate more through your bowel movements. So studies have found that lean people tend to have more of the, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to say this the wrong way, bacteroidetes, and their microbiome absorbs fewer calories. On the other hand, the obese population tends to have more of the firmicutes, so that both of these are gut bacteria, leading to the body storing more energy. So to translate this into, so that you really understand this message, two people who eat the same food, doing the same exercise, extract different amounts of energy from what they eat just because of the composition of their microbiome. That's shocking, right? So here's something else that is very interesting for us women. Over 30 hormone genes are expressed in the gut, which makes the gut the largest hormone-producing organ in the body. So not only does the gut depend on hormones, the endocrine system depends on the gut. It is a bidirectional symbiotic relationship. So interestingly, researchers have found that your sex hormones play a role in the development of IBS, that's irritable bowel syndrome, something very unpleasant to suffer from, which may explain why women are much more likely to suffer from this chronic digestive condition than men. So further research has revealed that women tend to experience increased GI symptoms when they menstruate. I'm sure some of you have noticed that, and also in early menopause. And that's suggesting that estrogen and progesterone decline worsen your symptoms. So what impacts digestive health? Let's start with one of the buzzwords, but it's just so important. It's inflammation. So inflammation can be healthy if it's short-term, but it's initially causing digestive issues so that when it's chronic, like diarrhea or stomach pain, and eventually wears down the intestinal wall, contributing to leaky gut. Then your metabolism impacts your digestion. So if it affects how quickly you digest food and use it for energy, it also affects the transit time for food to travel through the entire digestive system and then be eliminated. So this is not to be mixed up with the number of calories you absorb. So if it is if it is not quick enough, this is causing all sorts of issues. So and one of them is, for example, bloating. Just imagine if it sits there for too long, or maybe not imagine, it's not very attractive to imagine, but this is mainly what is causing bloating. So it's important to detox, to get rid of everything that your body wants to get rid of as well in a reasonable time. So not too quick and not too slow. So ideally once a day. Your microbiome balance is super important for digestive health. So without bacteria, certain foods wouldn't be broken down or absorbed properly. And the more diverse your gut microbes, the more likely you are to be healthy and lean. And the more sparse your microbes, the more likely you are to be overweight. So restrictive diets that some people try to lose weight may initially help for the first few weeks because you're eating less. But long term, they'll destroy your microbes by reducing their diversity and can end up making you fatter. So bear that in mind when you embark on another diet. So weight gain is unavoidable when there's an imbalance of good and bad bacteria in your gut. So it's absolutely crucial to keep them in balance. So I just continue with my list of things that impact your digestive health. And one of them is your diet. Surprise, surprise. Oh, here's another one. Hi, Tracy. And with your diet, it's not just what you're currently eating, but it's also your past diet. So what you've been eating like years ago, even in your childhood. So eating low quality or processed foods leaves your body unsatisfied and wanting more. So even if you're getting enough calories, you continue to be hungry because you're hungry for nutrients. So this is where cravings can come from. And on top of that, you're not getting the nutrients you need to keep the gut lining healthy and produce enough digestive juices to properly break down and absorb the nutrients. So it's really important to get like a large variety of nutrients in so that your body is not hungry. Sugar and refined ingredients impact your gut health as well. And in addition to that, several food additives and preservatives, they can lead to imbalances in your gut flora. Processed food feeds the wrong kind of microbes, and they cause further inflammation and damages to the gut. So that's leaky gut. I mentioned that before. And then two more, toxin exposure. So your choice of personal care products. So everything that you put on your skin can influence the toxic load of your digestive system. So who would have thought that your day cream that you put on your face can have an impact on the balance of your microbes. So pesticides and herbicides from non-organic produce, what you eat, toxins from tap water, and additives from processed foods all wear away your intestinal lining, causing what is called intestinal hyperpermeability. In other words, that's leaky gut. So that means you've got like micro injuries in your gut lining, and that leaves food escape into your bloodstream. And lastly, your personal health history influences your digestion. So there could be any illnesses, current or past. Antibiotic use, that's a big point. So if you've used them frequently, they do not just kill the bad bacteria, they also kill part of your gut microbiome. Someone once told me it's like an atomic bomb that you use to destroy something in your body. So there are much more gentler ways to do that. So it's always good before you take antibiotics to double check, is it really necessary? Because you can deal with that for years to come. Then your stress level impacts digestive health. Dental work can impact it, foreign travel, food poisoning, whether you were breastfed or bottle fed, if you were delivered vaginally or through a C-section, and your psychological health. So you can see it's quite a variety that impacts your gut health. So I mentioned a few times leaky gut. So I just want to explain what it is, because research indicates that it plays a role in weight gain. So it's an important thing to know and to be aware of. So the so-called leaky gut syndrome is said to involve increased permeability or leakiness of the gut wall. So this is thought to allow microbes to pass from the intestine into the bloodstream, as I mentioned before, and the disorder is implicated in an array of conditions, including obesity and diabetes. So definitely keep an eye on that. So I want to also talk about inflammation and toxins. So weight gain or an inability to lose weight can be a sign that you need to detox. So there are other indicators like being tired all the time, headaches, constipation, and more. So all of these might tell you that there is a high amount of inflammation in your body and toxins. And ignoring these signs can lead to toxic overload, which may contribute to things like, this is all three are very important, your body storing toxins that can lead to weight gain, toxic chemicals triggering your cells to convert to fat cells, increased fat storing, and disruption of weight regulation in the body. So all 3 points can come from being in need of a detox and for having high inflammation levels. So to avoid long-term inflammation, detoxification is absolutely critical. So it removes toxic substances to allow the body to heal on its own. And sadly, our modern world today is full of harmful toxins wherever you look. And this is one of the burdens of being a health coach, because now I'm aware of it. And then sometimes it's just so overwhelming because it's really literally everywhere. It's in the indoor air, in the outdoor air. It can be in your furniture, your carpets, your walls, as I said, the personal care products is basically everywhere. So the more you reduce that load, the better it is. And sometimes you can help your body by cleansing itself. So it just makes it harder for the body. So and it's not a quick fix like a 3-day cleanse. So it requires lifestyle changes that reduce the exposure of toxins while you at the same time nourish the body to improve digestion and elimination. Hi, Kate. So you're asking how would you recommend to detox and what to take? I'm going a little bit closer into that topic. Sorry, I have a scratchy nose, an itchy nose. So I'm going to explain to you in a minute. Just bear with me. So detoxification is a process. So toxins, fat, and cellulite take years to accumulate in the body. It's unrealistic to think that years of damage can be reversed and cleansed after just a few days of sipping lemonade with cayenne pepper and maple syrup in it. So which is one of the, I think it's called the master cleanse. So this is not going to help your body to clean itself in a natural way. So first of all, when should you detox? So I advise detoxing on a regular basis. So your body should always be in a state of constant cleansing by simply avoiding toxin exposure, drinking clean water, and eating nutrient-dense whole foods daily. So one part is to reduce the toxic load, and the other one is to give the body the nutrients it needs to get rid of the toxins so that they're not like swirling around in your system and causing even more damage. But sometimes more extensive detoxing can be beneficial, especially to kick off weight loss. So I do a special cleanse myself 2 to 3 times per year. I'm actually doing it right now. So the New Year is always a good time to do that. And I really love it. And I love it so much that all of my programs start with that special cleanse. And it's important that you listen to your body for signs that detox is needed. So here are the signs. So weight gain is a sign, or can be a sign. Then the inability to lose weight. So maybe you're trying to lose weight and do all sorts of things, and it's just like sticking with you and you just can't get rid of it. Fatigue. So if you're tired all the time, headaches, aching or swollen joints, backache, allergy symptoms, bad breath, and constipation. So all of these can be signs that you have too many toxins in your body. And then keep in mind that the female body naturally detoxes every month during menstruation. So during this time, give your body everything it needs to rest, reduce stress, and give it adequate nutrition to support it during this time. So reducing inflammation is one thing, and regularly detoxing is a great starting point, but there's more you can do to balance the good and the bad bacteria. So here are 7 nutritional strategies for a healthy gut flora. So first, avoid sugar, surprise, processed foods and alcohol. So they are all toxins that stop good bacteria from growing and feed bad bacteria. Avoiding them will make a huge difference to your gut's performance, to your energy and desired weight loss. And please note that I'm saying avoid. I'm not saying cut them out entirely, because there is one thing that is giving you pleasure to your soul, and the other one is just looking after your body. So, and sometimes it can just be more beneficial to have that glass of wine or have that cookie because it just gives you joy. It's important that you avoid it as much as possible, and then celebrate it when you have an occasion, when you want to consciously enjoy it. Avoid artificial sweeteners because they can damage your gut bacteria. Avoid gluten because it can lead to leaky gut. So now you know more about leaky gut. Avoid vegetable oils like canola oil, soybean oil, peanut oil, as well as margarine and shortening. They're all high inflammatory fats from omega-6 fatty acids and trans fats. Instead, switch to healthier fat options like grass-fed ghee, extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, or coconut oil. And then eat, and this is the most important part, I think, eat in abundance in a variety of plant-based, fiber-rich foods. So to help improve the beneficial population of your bowels, you need to eat what is called prebiotic foods. I'm sure you've heard of that. That gets to the colon largely unchanged, so which means you're not digesting it, so it's still intact, so that then your gut bacteria can feed on them. So this is not food for you, but it's food for the bacteria that's living in your gut. And processed foods make it like for example, simple carbs like pizza or cookies are mostly broken down in the small intestines. They are before the large intestines, and by the time it gets to the colon, there's little left for your microbes, which means the good bacteria population starves and eventually dies. And then you have a very reduced number of bacteria in your gut, and you know that is not beneficial when it comes to weight loss. And then choose organic and local as much as possible. So I'm really living for that, and I can see the difference. That was one of the biggest differences it made, that I more or less eat mainly organic. And if you want to save money, because it's more expensive than non-organic food, I recommend to go to farmers markets, or you just have your own veggie patch outside in the garden, and there you can grow your own organic vegetables. And then lastly, drink spring water or filtered water to reduce your toxic load. And drinking and flushing your system is very important, but then also make sure that it's filtered, because a lot of tap water might get the approval from the council that it's okay to drink and you're not going to die from it, but it's still not healthy for you to drink it. And you can filter out a lot of bad stuff with a good water filter. And then lastly, there are 6 lifestyle strategies for a healthy gut flora, because it's not just what you put into your body, it's also how you treat your body. So well, actually the first one is putting something into your body. So avoid unnecessary antibiotic treatments. So that's really, this is so important. Really invite you, next time your doctor wants to give you antibiotics, question that, query that if it's really necessary. Of course, always take it if it is necessary, but be open to ask your doctor, do I really need it? Avoid antacids, limit alcohol, avoid smoking, reduce stress, and increase self-care. So all of these will help you with a healthy gut flora. So in terms of the Kate's question about the detox, I have a detailed detox in my programs where I really guide you through this. It's between 10 and 21 days, depending on which detox you do. And it goes through phases. There's a preparation phase where you reduce certain foods. And then there's the active phase where you're just following eating certain foods that are beneficial for detoxification and nourishing your body, so that once the toxins are released into your system, you can bind them so that they can leave your body. It's too detailed to cover this here in this live. So if you want to know more about this, I'm happy to jump on a call with you or send you some more information about the detox. It's a really amazing cleanse. It's called a nutritional cleanse, and it doesn't leave you hungry. It really, it's more like feeding your body with what it needs. So I can highly recommend this. So this was obviously just a quick guide to gut health and weight loss. As I said, I go into much more detail in my weight loss programs. So I do one-on-one coaching, and also have a great weight loss group where I'll give you guidance on exactly what foods to eat, when to eat them, because it also depends on the time of day, and how much to balance your gut microbiome. So I'm a huge fan of the nutritional cleanse that I mentioned a few times. So all programs start with it to really kick off the fat release. So that's it for today. Thank you for your comments. This is so much nicer to see to do these lives when people are commenting. If you're watching the replay and you have any questions, then feel free to comment. I keep an eye on that. And next week, I've got a few options. So next week, I've got a few options. So I can either talk about exercise. So what's the most efficient exercise for weight loss? How to improve your sleep. So I know that Evelyn was asking for that. Or dive a little bit deeper into your hunger hormones. So I'm going to do a poll in the group to see which topic you find most interesting, and then I cover that. And Evelyn, I get back to you on the antacids. Now, thanks everyone. I see you next week, and I wish you a wonderful rest of the day or evening, and take care. Bye-bye.